have been living with my mother-in-law for more than a year. I just found out her real identity. Actually, it's my husband's old baby. My name is Lin Wan. I'm 28 this year. My husband, Joe Mingchuan, and I met through a blind date. When the matchmaker introduced them at that time, did you specifically mention this kid, Mingchuan? The family situation is slightly special. His parents separated early in their lives. His father remarried later. He has always lived with his mother. His mother is really nice, open-minded and gentle. If there are mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflicts in the future, you come to settle accounts with me, I still said with a smile at that time. Auntie, that's really over the top. To be honest, I don't mind living with my mother-in-law after marriage. I think living with elderly family members can also help take care of things. Pretty good, as long as you don't have too weak a sense of boundaries. Every day, you keep an eye on what time I get up. It doesn't matter how much you spend on clothes. The first time I met Joe Mingchuan, he left me a pretty good impression. A height of 1.78 meters. He looks quite handsome. Wear a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. Speak in a gentle and refined manner. Unlike some men, start by asking how much the salary is. Do you have a car? Do you have any housing available? We talked for nearly 2 hours that day. He had a good sense of propriety throughout the entire process. It makes me think I can try dating him. Just like that, Joe Mingchuan and I officially started dating. Well, the process of falling in love. How to put it? Can't pick out any major flaws. He remembers that I like eating strawberry ice cream. Remember which days my period is. You will drive to pick me up when I work overtime until very late. All the expected romance is there, nothing missing. The necessary thoughtfulness is all there. That year I really felt that my luck was pretty good. Met a reliable person. We've been dating for almost a year. We are discussing having our parents from both sides meet each other. While we're at it, let's finalize the wedding arrangements. Joe Mingchuan told me about the baby. You know our family situation too. It's impossible for my dad and mom to sit together and have a meal. So they have to split into 2 groups to meet. See my dad first. See my mom later. Oh, right. You remember to tell your parents never to mention my mom in front of my dad. I thought about it. His family situation is understandable too. I said, okay, so let's do it as you said. The next day, my parents first had a meal with his father. His father looks quite honest. Few words, but everyone is on point. He repeatedly urged Joe Mingchuan, after getting married, you should treat your spouse well. Men should prioritize their careers. But more importantly, we should put family first. Before leaving, he still mentioned one to me. Whenever you feel wronged in the future, you can tell Uncle. Uncle will stand up for you. I felt quite warm in my heart at that time. I think this father-in-law, though he doesn't live with his son, but the care that should be there is no less. The next day, we went to see his mother again. The first time I met his mother, it was at a pretty upscale restaurant. His mom looks well-maintained, dressed appropriately. Speaking is also very organized. He was praising his own son the whole time. It is said that Joe Mingchuan was sensible from childhood, studies well and works hard. The words are full of pride. Then the conversation took a sudden turn, started to encourage childbirth. After you get married, have a baby earlier, while I'm still in good health. Can I help you, Carrie? I smiled then, didn't pick up the thread. I thought it was only our first meeting. Just started urging, However, overall, his mother seems okay to me. It's just a normal one. A single mother who is a bit proud of her son. After going back, I also said to Joe Ming Chuan, "Your mom looks quite intellectual. The personality difference between you and your dad is really quite big." He smiled at that time, didn't say anything. Wedding Eve. Something happened that I'm a bit concerned about. When we discussed the wedding process, Joe Ming Chuan said that only his father attended the wedding. His mom won't come. I'm quite surprised. Why isn't your mom coming? The big event of one's own son getting married, isn't he coming to take a look? He told me very seriously, "My mom and my dad are incompatible with each other. As soon as we meet, we're sure to quarrel." What if the wedding scene turns ugly then? I thought to myself at that time, how much hatred could these two people possibly have on earth? This is the son's wedding day. Can't we just endure even the biggest conflict for a moment? But on second thought, maybe there's really some unspeakable secret in their family, and I was really too busy those days. It leaves me no time to think carefully at all. A bunch of things like wedding dress, hotel, invitations, and wedding cards are waiting for me to handle. After marriage, Joe Ming Chuan and I moved into the house that he had prepared long ago. 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, 1 bedroom in the north and 1 in the south. The middle bedroom was converted into a study. We 2 live in the big bedroom in the south. The small bedroom in the north is for his mother to live in. To be honest, this arrangement is quite clever. The newlywed couple live with the mother-in-law. There is a study in between. There is more or less a buffer zone. Not too awkward. Shortly after we got married, the days are fairly peaceful. The only worry is that my mother-in-law urges us to have a baby every few days. Stew a soup today. It is said that drinking it is good for one's health. Easy to get pregnant. Nag again tomorrow. Aunt Long next door's daughter-in-law is pregnant. You 2 hurry up. I understand after all, she is old. It's normal to want to have a grandson early. I responded perfunctorily with, okay. Let nature take its course. Didn't take it too seriously. But not long after marriage, I find that my body has started to have some minor ailments. I occasionally sleep very soundly. Sleep so deeply that you can't hear the alarm clock. The next morning I woke up, my head feels groggy. My temples are pounding, like being hungover, but I clearly didn't drink alcohol. At first I didn't pay much attention. I thought it was because I was too tired from work, or just got married and are not used to the new environment. Later, this situation also occurred several times on and off. I also had my doubts, but every time sleeping it off works, so I didn't think about going to the hospital to get checked. Looking back now, I was still careless back then, about a year or so after marriage, and pregnant. The day I confirmed my pregnancy, Joe Ming Chuan is holding the report sheet happily. Jump around at home. Mother-in-law was even more excited, her eyes turning red. Hold my hand and say, "Wan Wan, take good care of yourself. Don't do anything. I'll take care of you." Since then, my mother-in-law takes extremely attentive and thoughtful care of me. Every morning, I haven't woken up yet. He then made the breakfast ready and brought it to the bedside. The milk is warm. The eggs are just boiled. Even the bread has been spread with jam. At noon, he will send a WeChat message to ask me what I want to eat in the evening. When I come back in the evening, the food has been laid out, even the clothes I changed out of. He always rushes to help me wash. I really thought then I must have saved the Milky Way in my past life. Got such a good mother-in-law. Even my own mother hasn't taken care of me to this extent. Joe McJoann also treats me better. He said he tosses and turns in his sleep, afraid of turning over and kicking me or pressing on the stomach. Offer to sleep in the study. I think it makes sense, so I agreed. So far, up to now, everything looks so beautiful. But little did I know that what was waiting for me was a huge abyss. The 4th month of pregnancy, I started to sleep restlessly. I wake up after sleeping for 4 or 5 hours every night. Sometimes I'm woken up by a stomachache. Sometimes I just wake up for no reason. It lasted about half a month. I slept until past 3 a.m. that night. I was woken up again by a stomachache. This time the pain is worse than ever before. I feel intermittent sinking pain in my lower abdomen. Like there's something pulling down. After all, it's the first pregnancy. A new mom doesn't know anything. This unknown pain makes me particularly afraid. My first reaction at that time was to call Joe McJoann, but thinking that if I shout in the middle of the night, the mother-in-law was also alerted, in case there's nothing serious. How embarrassing. I just slowly got up by myself, walked towards the study holding onto the wall. When I walked to the door of the study, I found the door of the study wasn't closed tightly. After gently pushing it open, I see the neatly arranged quilt and pillow are both on the bed, but Joe McJoann isn't here. I reached out and touched the quilt. It's cold inside. This indicates he hasn't slept here at all tonight. I froze for a moment. A question mark popped into my mind. Did he go to work overtime? But the stomachache left me no time to think more. Then she turned around and walked towards her mother-in-law's room. Want to ask her for help. Just arrived at the door of my mother-in-law's room. I gently push open the door. The moment I saw the bed, I was completely stunned. I just saw 2 people lying on the bed. A person rests their head on another person's arm, sideways, faces pressed together, just hold each other tightly. But I know both of those 2 faces. One is my husband, Joe McJoann. One is my mother-in-law. My mind went blank at that moment. My stomach started to hurt more and more. I opened my mouth. After letting out a scream, everything went black. Then I knew nothing. When I wake up again, I'm already in the hospital. Joe McJoann isn't here. My mother-in-law isn't here either. Only my parents stayed by the bed watching me wake up. My mom is stroking my hand while, with tears streaming down, said the child didn't make it. After Joe McJoann and his mother found out that their child was gone, said to go pay the fee. Then he never came back. My dad turned blue with anger, said this family is really terrible. Know that the child is gone. Just went back like that. At that moment, I was lying in the hospital bed, stare at the ceiling, can't say a word. I close my eyes. My mind is full of those 2 faces in that image. I start to recall some details that have never been noticed before. For example, in my mother-in-law's room, no photos related to Joe McJoann's childhood have been put up. In general, mothers usually keep a few photos of their son's childhood in their rooms, but he didn't. For example, Joe McJoann never calls mom in front of me. Every time he talks to his mother-in-law, he speaks directly. No salutation. The more I think about it, the more flustered I feel. Hurry up and pick up your phone. I plan to call my father-in-law. After all, the child is gone. We need to inform him. Also, ask him and my mother-in-law, what on earth is going on? After the call is connected, I first explain the child's situation, then ask Dad, What exactly is the situation between you and my mother-in-law now? There was silence for about 4 or 5 seconds on the other end of the line. Then my father-in-law said a sentence, the words that I will never forget in my whole life. He asked why you suddenly thought of asking Ming Chuan about his mother. His mother has been gone for so many years. Ming Chuan is a kid who values feelings deeply. The years right after his mother passed away when he was a child, he cries at the drop of a hat. It's finally gotten much better over the past few years. And then I happened to marry you. I didn't really take much care of him. If his mother were still alive, she would see that he is married now. Should be quite relieved too. At that moment, the hand holding my phone started to shake. I said, Dad, what do you mean by left? His father replied that he had simply passed away. Mingquan's mother passed away when he was 12 years old. Don't you know? After hanging up the phone, I'm looking at my parents. The voice is trembling. My father-in-law said that my mother-in-law had died when Zhou Mingquan was 12 years old. Who is the one that is now living in my house? Subsequently, I told everything I had seen that night again. My mom's face turned pale all of a sudden at that moment. My dad didn't even say a word. Went to handle the hospital discharge procedures immediately. The three of us directly and quickly took a taxi back to my home. When I got home, Zhou Mingquan is sitting on the sofa with that woman. Discuss countermeasures. My dad is a tough nut. Once someone's temper flares up, no one can hold them back. He grabbed Zhou Mingquan by the collar, pulled him up directly from the sofa. My mom also rushed forward and tangled with that woman. Later, the matter got out of hand. The neighbor called the police. Arrived at the police station. The truth was dug out little by little. It turns out that when Zhou Mingquan was very young, my biological mother passed away. He grew up with his father. Later, his father remarried. He has a bad relationship with his stepmother. I moved out to live on my own when I was 18 or 19. His contact with his father has also become less. It was then he got to know this woman and got together with her. This woman is very rich. He's just too old, unable to have children. So Zhou Mingquan needs a person who can help him carry on the family line. And I am the one who is chosen. After that, he takes advantage of the time difference caused by his rare contact with his father. Portrayed that woman as his mother. Was openly brought into my life. Hearing this, those things I found very strange before start to emerge one by one. Why do I sleep so soundly after marriage? The next day, you will have a headache. It's because they put the kind of medicine that can make people fall into deep sleep in the water I drink. Why then did I get better after I got pregnant? It's because they are afraid of affecting the fetus. So I stopped taking the medicine. Why did Zhou Mingquan go to sleep in the study after I got pregnant? It wasn't because he was afraid of kicking me, because he finally has a legitimate reason. Said to sleep in the study, then go to that woman's room again every night. And I am in this home, just a free and legal one, nothing more than a tool for having children. The rest of the story is simple to tell. We got divorced. Zhou Mingquan left the house empty-handed. House, car, and savings all belong to me. He didn't want anything. Or rather, he has nothing left to ask for. After hearing about the divorce, he has completely cut off all contact with his father. Went to another city with that woman. As for how the two people are, I don't care and don't want to know. Just occasionally, in the dead of night, I still think of the child who never got the chance to be born. So sisters, You must be cautious before getting married. In this world, some people's tenderness is a disguise. Some people's thoughtfulness is calculation. Some people are nice to you, just weaving one for you, a trap you are willing to jump into.